Okay guys, we are at our next location and tonight I'm at Bolling Hall. And what an amazing place this is. In a minute we're going to have a little walk around and we're going to learn some of the history. And I know you're going to be as blown away as I am by all of this. It's just wonderful. We may even have a couple of special guests that may show their face. So let's get into the history, roll up our sleeves, let's get into the investigation. There we go. All right.
Hello, my name's Paul Watson. I work at Bolling Hall Museum in Bradford. Welcome to the site.
Excellent.
It's a site that dates over many different periods. The room that we're studying right now, even though it's difficult to tell because we've got the shop of the museum in this particular part of the building, but the tower that this shop is in, and which is where the main doors are, where the public comes in during the day, this is the oldest part of the building. This dates from around the 1370 period, and it is probably the oldest public building in the city of Bradford. And this was built by a family called the Bollings, who we think came over with the Norman conquest in 1066. And they constructed buildings on this site. And then finally, in the 1370s, one of their descendants built the structure that I'm actually studying right now. Actually, while I'm studying, I might as well tell you that the story which is connected to this particular area. Now, I've been in this building, I worked at this building, and I used to be a childhood visitor to the site. So my life is entwined with Bolling Hall as such. And I've been here for 24 years. Now, when I first started, I used to kind of daydream. And my daydream consisted of myself thinking that when I pass away, I would wake up as a spirit at Bolling, and all the spirits that are actually here, and I've been for many centuries, would welcome me as part of the team. And basically say, oh, welcome to the team. We've been watching you for all these decades, looking after the building, which we thank you for, and you can now join us. You'll become one of the ghosts. And I used to think what a ridiculous idea this was. Now, a few years ago, we had a family come in on a Wednesday morning, and as soon as I started talking to them in this reception area, they commented that 2 days before on a Monday they'd been to the museum. Now the thing is, on a Monday and a Tuesday we're actually closed to the public. There's nobody actually present in the building, and they said that a gentleman had opened the main doors to the museum and said that we weren't open on the Mondays, and apologised and closed the door. I asked them to describe this gentleman, and they described a gentleman who was older than myself. He was taller, he had glasses, he had a nice tie, a nice suit, and like a caretaker's overall over the suit. I commented that this didn't look like anybody that worked here, so I couldn't think who it was. And the conversation kind of lulled, and they kind of moved off further into the museum. And I was thinking about this man that described, and I realised I knew him from somewhere. And where I knew him from, I called them back, you see, and I said, could you look in a display cabinet? Now, the display cabinet is actually right behind me. In the corner of the shop, we've got a display cabinet about the museum as a museum as such. There's books there, which are signing in books going back to the 50s and 40s and beyond, which are from members of staff like myself who have signed in and then signed out. Mm-hmm. Now, we've got a really good record of people that's worked here in the time we've been open, 109 years. We opened in 1915 as a museum. And they looked in the cabinet pretty much like I'm doing right now. And in the middle of that cabinet, there's a photograph, and it shows a man demonstrating an old vacuum cleaner to 3 members of the public. And as soon as I looked at the photograph, they exclaimed that that was the gentleman that had actually opened the door 2 days before. Now, that picture was taken 1960, 1961, around that period. And that gentleman, I did actually say, I know of him. He's called George Collins. He was a member of staff. He's actually been dead for quite a number of years. Wow. So basically, cut a long story short, my idea all them years ago that you never really leave Bolling is possibly true. So one day, hopefully in a long time from now, I may become one of the spirits of Bolling.
You'll be helping us as well.
And about
in a different way.
Manner. Yeah. So as we move through from the reception area, you go under the archway and you're entering a part of the museum. Now this was constructed late 15th century, so you're talking 1490s, around that period, early 1500s, around that period. And this was kind of a continuation of the building from the Bolling family. They constructed this. And then in later years, it was adapted by the Tempest family. Because you see, what happened is, in the late 1490s, one of the Bollings married into a big family, who were still around, I hasten to add, called the Tempest family. And they, it kind of moved to the Tempest family. So the Tempest family were the next major family to live at Bolling and make a big impact on the building, basically. Now, one of my personal ghostly experiences actually occurred in this area, which I'd not actually detailed before, so I'll tell you it right now. Now, I actually don't think this was a ghost. And what happened was, it was one winter's morning, about 20 years ago or so, and it was dark outside, it was heavy rain, and it had been raining all night. So I came into this building, it's about 7:30 in the morning, and I went straight to the reception area, which was where we'd just come out, and I was getting that area ready for the day, and I suddenly stopped what I was doing because I felt I was being watched. And as I'm stood there, I'm looking around thinking, well, there's nobody here. I went to the front doors, peered into the grounds as much as I could. It was completely pitch black, it's 7:30, it's torrential rain. I thought, there's nobody around whatsoever. So I walked out of the reception area, pretty much got to where I am right now, and I looked across the room, and in the right-hand side of the fireplace, there is a doorway. And that doorway leads to a room what we call the cold kitchen, primarily because we don't think it's ever had a fire in that room. It's one of the few rooms in this building that has never had a fire. And in that doorway, there was a gentleman. Now this gentleman was stood and he was wearing 18th century clothes. It was solid, it was there, and my mouth dropped open as I was looking at this gentleman. His mouth dropped open. Now I must admit, that is the moment I got a little bit scared, because I realised at that moment that this gentleman was looking back at me. He was conscious of my presence. Yeah. And I stood looking at this gentleman for, I would estimate, about 10 seconds or so. And then all of a sudden, a strange thing happened. It went black and white and blurred. It was like a TV picture being interrupted. And then he'd revert back to what you would call normal. And then he'd go back to this strange black and white blurredness. And he did this a number of times. And the final time he was doing it, he seemed to be turning away from looking at me. And he seemed to walk into the room beyond. So basically, it was an empty doorway like it is right now at this moment. Now, over the years of contemplating what happened that very morning, I've come to a conclusion. And my conclusion is that he wasn't actually a ghost. What I think he actually was, I think it was a time slip. Yeah. Which personally, I can only say it's personally, I actually find far more interesting than ghosts. That I find it a really interesting kind of subject as such. And so I think he was a gentleman who was in this building in the 18th century, and we were allowed to see each other for a very short space of time. And the reason, I suppose you could call he was glitching, is whatever power was enabling us to see each other wasn't strong enough. It was losing its power until finally it's like the switch was switched off. and it reverted to what you would call normality. That was a very bizarre moment.
Yeah.
Probably the most bizarre moment I've actually had in this building, to be honest.
That's always fascinated me as well, time slips.
Time slips, absolutely intriguing idea.
Yeah.
So here, we're moving from as I said earlier, the 1490s, early 1500s kind of period, and now we're going into the kind of part of the building that was built around the 1600, 1620 period.
There's strange people in here. Look at that. You made and look at the mess you've made. Look. It was a perfectly nice room until you opened all your bags.
I need to wander around somewhere.
Yeah, that's all right.
Getting photos.
Yep, cool. We'll no doubt bump into her.
So in the window we've got a large stained glass window there with lots of coats of arms pertaining to the Bolling family, which I've mentioned, and the Dennis family. And it's a bit of showing off at the time, basically, because it's basically families that were either married into or they knew, and a lot of the families that's up there actually, at the time, the 1500s, when the big ones were actually made, they were big influential families in Britain. So it was kind of showing off who they had good connections, if you know what I mean. So it's, but it's an amazing window. This is a dining room which is kind of designed for, I suppose, the 18th century dining room. And you've got a few bits of food on the table there. And interestingly, in the corner, you'll have a dog.
A pug.
A pug dog. Which you will see from its face doesn't resemble the modern pug. That's about 1905. But since that period, they've been bred to the point where, if you own a pug, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
The face is much more kind of...
That's a real pug, isn't it?
Squashed, I suppose you could describe it.
And that's a real one?
That's a real pug, yeah. That was running around until about 1905. Now here, by the way, is where I had my second definite sighting.
Right.
Right, now, we were closed to the public at 4 p.m. on this particular day. This is about 4:10, and I was in this building with only one other male member of staff, and I was stood kind of down the corridor where I was talking about the Isaac Watt picture, and I saw something move to the right hand side of my face, my peripheral vision. So I turned to look, and in the doorway to the drawing room, which we just come out of, there was actually a lady stood in the doorway. And as I looked up from down the corridor, I could see this lady stood here, and she had an old-fashioned dress on, you see. So she seemed to just walk out of view, basically walk where I'm going right now. And then I kind of run through the house body and got to where I am now, and I'm thinking, where on earth has she gone? She can't possibly have disappeared that quickly. It's just not possible. I was here within seconds. And as we go up the steps, I shall show you what happened and what was revealed to me. So this is the Georgian staircase. We're going up the Georgian staircase. A cantilevered staircase. Always amazing me how these things stay stood. So you've got an elaborate Georgian window there, gorgeous. And on this staircase you have two portraits. And the portraits are of Captain Charles Wood, Royal Naval Captain, who got killed in a sea battle in 1782 off the coast of India. He's actually buried in India.
Okay.
He was killed by the French Navy in a battle in 1782. And on the opposite side, you see a portrait of his wife, who was called Caroline. Now, Caroline, right, is the lady I saw that afternoon.
Okay.
Because as I came up the staircase, we've just come up, my eyes kind of fell onto the portrait of Caroline Wood. And basically, what you see on that portrait right now is what I saw that afternoon.
Oh, wow.
She was completely identical to what she looked like in the portrait. And it was almost as if she'd come walking out of the portrait, walked down the steps, gone for a bit of a wander, and then gone back.
Yeah.
And other people claim to have seen her as well, but
Yeah.
I've only actually seen her the once.
So did she pass away here at the house?
I don't know if she actually passed away, but I don't think she did.
Right.
But I think she obviously loved the place.
Yeah, come back to it.
And in my time working here, I've always got the impression that the spirits are here, and especially this lady here.
Yeah.
I always get the impression she's watching us, as if to say, "Are you looking after the place?
Yeah.
You're taking care of it. You know, it's mine." Right, so here we go into the ghost room. This is quite a famous room in Bradford and beyond indeed. And it pertains to the English Civil War period of English history. 1640s, you had a war going on in the country between two sides, the parliamentarians and the royalists, arguing over who was basically going to make the rules that everybody lived by. King Charles I was the king, and you had Oliver Cromwell who was in charge of the parliamentarians, pretty much. And near Bradford there was a battle fought, and the royalists won the battle and came here as guests of the Tempest family that lived here. Now, the story of why it's called the Ghost Room pertains to one particular night's event. And what happened was, the commanding officer of the royalist forces was a guest in this room. And before he came into this room to sleep, he issued an order. And the order was that every single person in the town the following day would be put to the sword, basically. Now, he fell asleep, and it is said that he was awakened by the ghost of a girl. And the girl was crying and pulling the bed sheets off, and she was saying very famous words that everybody in Bradford knows, called "Pity poor Bradford. Pity poor Bradford," and she said it over and over again. So the following morning he awoke and he issued new orders, and the orders were that every single person in the town would be safe unless they fought back. So consequently, only about 10 to 12 people actually died that day. So whatever occurred in this room that particular night actually saved and changed dramatically the history of the city of Bradford, or town of Bradford as it was at the time. And moving back through the centuries again now, gone back in time to the late 1400s or 1500s when all this part was built with. Probably the most interesting room at this end of the building is actually this one, and this is the Civil War parlour, which pertains to the ghost room,
right,
and the siege of Bradford. So it's got lots of items that are connected to the English Civil War and the actual siege of Bradford. Because what you've got to realise is the windows at this side of the room, back in the year 1643, looking out of this window, you would have seen the town of Bradford perfectly, because there was nothing in the way. The buildings, the houses that were there are there now, and the trees weren't there. It was literally a clear look into the town of Bradford. So it was perfect kind of. But I think this was the planning room for the siege of Bradford. That's why it's been chosen as the Civil War parlour. And then the most interesting thing, personally speaking, is the item in this case, and this is a copy of the death mask of Oliver Cromwell.
Oh wow.
Of, of course, run the country for quite a number of years after being victorious in the English Civil War. I suppose what you've got to remember is back in the day there was no photography, of course, and apart from portraits, painting wise, in order to preserve what somebody actually looked like, the only way to do it was when they died, you place wax over the face, and it would set hard, of course, and then you take the wax off. And people do collect death masks. This isn't the original. The original is actually, I think, in the British Museum, which of course is in London.
Yeah.
And this is a plaster copy of that original. So that is actually Oliver Cromwell as such. I have had the sound of, I can only describe it as heavy military boots walking across from the corner of the room towards me when I've been in this room on my own, and it's the sound of somebody literally marching across the floor. So maybe it's one of the Civil War soldiers or one of the generals planning the siege of Bradford. I've caught them in a moment when they were doing that. Above this room, we have a room which is an old storeroom. Now, there's a gated area which is to the left-hand side of me, and it leads up a flight of steps, which are quite treacherous. So it was decided a number of years ago not to use it as a storeroom anymore, and it literally is an empty room. So you can see the steps are quite horrendous. So I've stumbled up and down them steps quite a few times. But back in the 18th century, there was a family called the Linleys. Now, the last Linley to own Bolling Hall was called Walter. And when he took over the estate, when his father passed away in 1734, he wasn't allowed to run it because he was described in documentation at the time as an idiot or lunatic. We do not know what that actually means. So we don't know what his condition was, but he wasn't allowed to run the estate, so his two sisters, and his mother run the estate on his behalf. And what we think happened to him is that he was kept locked away, out of sight and out of mind, in that storeroom upstairs. That was Walter's room. Staff at work here know it as Walter's room. We don't know it as a storeroom, we know it as Walter's room. Now, over the years, we've had moments where especially little girls, for some strange reason, have come running out of the Civil War parlour in tears, and I've been in the blue room, and it's like, well, what on earth, are you okay? And they've reported that they've heard the sound of footsteps from the room above, mumbling, crying, and we get the sense that what's actually occurring is the spirit of Walter is hearing the fact that there's somebody in the room below, and he was lonely in life, as far as we can discern, and he's lonely in death, and he's making a vain attempt to communicate with people down below. So it's
I gather he passed away.
He did die. He died in 1760. All
right. Well, thank you for showing us around. That was really, really great. So I just want to say to everybody, if you're ever, you're open during the day, aren't you?
We're closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Right.
But we are open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 o'clock to 4.
Okay, so they can
then
come in.
Then at the weekends, we are open from Saturday, we're open from 11 till 4.
Right.
And Sundays, we're open from 11 till 4 also.
Awesome.
And it's free entry.
Is it?
Yeah, all the Bradford museums are actually free to come into.
Oh, wow.
Including Bolling. There is a pay-as-you-feel thing that we've started recently. So we recommend you donate £3, but it's completely up to yourselves.
Wow.
You are, there is actually no admission.
Wow. Well, definitely get yourself here and come and have a look yourself.
My pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant. Okay. All right, I was just wondering if anybody is with us tonight. Now, there is going to be some beeping, guys. We can't stop that. You'll hear it every couple of minutes. Something to do with the sensors. All right, so if there is anybody here tonight, I hope you don't mind me being in here. My name's Alison. And I've just come to chat and see if anybody wants to chat back. Now, on the floor, we've got some lights. We've got a light over here as well. And it's the only way I'm going to know you're here, is if you light some of these lights up. If you go near that one in the door, it'll play music. There is another one over here which will also play music. Next to one of those lights is a little toy. Now the toy is called a koala. He looks a bit strange and you may not ever have seen a koala, but it's a real animal. Comes from a country called Australia. Australia may not have been found when you were around here. I'm going to put, I might just put Siri on as well. I can find where I put my phone. Okay, there's a little box there that you may be able to manipulate and put a picture on it. Maybe you can show us who you are, or show us anything about your life. Oh, a music box. Thank you. That's you. Did you just come in or did you just leave? Oh, picture. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like a face. It looks like a monkey with a cigarette. Very weird. Thank you. Don't know what it means, but and guys, it still means, even though the picture may mean nothing, it still means there was a fluctuation on the phone sensor. So you see, you might be able to make a picture out of that if you try really hard.
No.
No. You don't want to try really hard. You don't feel like talking? Alright, so it's got a little orange light on it. Don't know if you can see. Oh, picture. Wooden door. I don't think you can see this, but it's a wooden door. It's got crosses or something on it. It's like the witch's mark. I'm not a witch, by the way. Right, so this little box, I'm going to do it again, by the way. I'm going to put it over here, to the side of me. My name's Alison. Just wondering if you could put your name on there, please. Who was the man that was seen at the door there? Did you used to work here? I can hear movement over here. Very strange sound. Did you used to own this house? Yeah, it's over here. I can hear footsteps, guys. Alright, somebody's moving around. How many people are here with me tonight? Finished the EVP session, then I'm going in that room to see what the noise was. That noise is coming from... Okay. Okay, this is over here. Alright, I'm going to listen back. I'm going to look in this room, guys. I hear a car. Those noises were coming from in here. Is there anybody in here? Louise, can you make some sounds again, please? Okay, that was really odd because it sounded... I could hear Amy and Jared. They're setting up for the next session. They're in the hall. This was different. It was in here. It was very subtle, moving around. And since I've walked in here, my legs are absolutely rigid. Just wondering if you could put your name on there, please. Who was the man that was seen at the door there? To work here. Alright, well that's an interesting sound. It's like a clicking, but I don't remember hearing it at the time. It used to work here. Let me just get it back. It used to work here. That's quite loud. It used to work here. It's like somebody was moving around. Yeah, I can hear movement over here. Yeah, it's picked it up quite well. It actually picked it up louder than when I heard it. Seen at the door there. Strange sound. Did you used to own this house? Now it's over here. I can hear footsteps, guys. How many people are here with me tonight? Finish the EVP session, then I'm going in that room to see what the noise was. Alright, I'm going to listen back. So that was really weird, because it sounded like footsteps in there. So towards the end you could hear, Jared had just gone into the hall there. They're working at that side of the building, not this side. And music box. Whoop, just missed it. Thank you. Can you do any of the other lights? So, I'm going to move on. See what else we can find.
Audio for Alison Esther's session. Just here. Oh, do you want to sit? Where are you going to be?
No, I'm just making sure that you're in it. I'm not too far away.
Okay.
You are, but that's all right.
Audio for Alison Esther's.
So is it
Do you
closer?
want me to roll this for you, Alison, in case one of them goes off or something?
Right,
What the fuck was that?
My phone just... Is that camera at Esther rolling?
I hope so.
And unfortunately, my camera was pointed
That
elsewhere.
is rolling. My phone just...
Flew off the...
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm going to put that back.
I can share that with you.
Just to show you, Alison, if you want to come here. That just happened.
Yeah.
Just to show you, I've got a rubber cover on my phone.
Yeah.
So it's generally good at... You know how rubber like doesn't slide?
Yeah.
And I had it up like this. Okay, yeah, it's falling. Debunked.
Debunked.
Anyway, I'll put it there. Anyway, it happened, but maybe
Cool.
not. Tell me when you're ready, Ames.
Well, I'm ready.
Okay, can I start?
Yeah.
So if you
Alright.
stand round there.
Going under now, yeah?
Yeah.
Don't move it.
Oh, see image. See image.
House of Parliament.
You said London as well.
House of Parliament. Can I grab
Esther's.
that as a copy as well, by the way?
Well,
No, I mean, can I grab a copy of?
yeah, I'm recording. The
Cool.
video's recording.
Felt the chair move that I'm sitting on.
That's
Housekeeping.
Oh, are you cleaning around Jared?
So is there a parliamentarian in here?
Hello.
Hello.
Be quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. who do you want to be quiet?
Are we disturbing you? Or is it the loud man there with the headphones on?
Either amazing or sing.
Oh, I can sing.
Alison's a really good singer.
What about that, but I... It's just...
Stop.
Yeah, I wished it would stop.
Yeah, the beeping.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, the beeping is, I don't know, a fire alarm.
You scold.
It goes from one to the other around the house.
Yeah. You scold.
That's an old term, isn't it? You scold.
Scold someone. That's like getting told off, yeah?
Yeah.
Scold me then. Are you saying I scolded someone?
Are you a royalist or a parliamentarian?
That's so funny because we literally just said the same thing.
Wealthy people.
Wealthy people.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Well, wealthy people may be royalists. But I thought it was all parliamentarians here.
One day, I found...
What did you find? Did you find something good? Yeah.
We are...
Is that?
We?
Oh, there's like a woman with a kid.
With a
in
child.
window. Oh, okay.
And he said, we are. And then
Pink
there's two
dress
of them.
as well.
about
Can you tell me what colour the little girl in the picture?
40
What colour her dress
or
is?
40th. Where'd you come from?
Ah, well, a place called Australia.
A great cause. Should never be published. A go, I said.
Okay, we just gotta go.
Yeah.
See.
This way.
Is there a girl and a lady in there? In that room?
You still there?
Working.
Oh, sorry. Are we disturbing you?
What's the important message that you have?
I fell down.
Oh no. I do that sometimes. Did you hurt yourself?
1 or 2.
Did you fall down these stairs?
300.
300 stairs.
300 people fell down the stairs.
Yeah. Fell down. Did you get back up?
I have no secrets.
I think earlier I said you're being a bit secretive.
I feel like my chair keeps moving. I don't know if you're walking in the room.
Yeah, I thought my chair would be vibrating as well when I was on it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't like to say anything because it's,
Well, that's
so it's
something.
after the effect now, so probably.
Can you kick the red chair? Kick it as hard as you can.
Give it a good shake.
I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I'm just going to note it though. I thought I saw the light flicker on the floor, like the sensor lights in here.
Okay.
Looked like it was like just.
Around the corner.
I don't think it was that. It looked like it was that light
Right.
around the corner.
What's around the corner?
Another siren again, like wow, 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 wow. A dozen. They're destroying.
I can't see anything around the corner for the record, but it's very dark out there, so there could just be a little ghost lurking.
Just a child.
Yeah, a black-eyed child or something. Little- Oh.
In London.
London. again.
London, you said London in the Estes.
Lady carrying a is that a baby? Just hold it.
Lady in black. Maybe she's holding something. Maybe that is a child actually. Playing around things on like cones or something like
But they look modern.
and lines. She doesn't look modern though.
No.
She looks like she's got a really big hand.
I don't know whether she's holding a baby's head.
Maybe. Yeah, a girl
Did you
holding
lose-
something.
Did you lose a baby?
I did.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was thinking she's dressed in black, as if she's.
oh, another one.
Siren again. We now know.
Let's look like photographs. Right? This one almost looks like a tarot card.
Last year.
But like angelic, but this one
Yeah.
looks
He's back.
more like a photograph. He's back. Who is he? We don't know who
I
he
had
is.
that downstairs. Who's back?
Who's that?
It's coming from
Who's back? Who is he?
up there.
Around the corner?
Could it be Walter? Is Walter here? I believe you were quite lonely. Well, you don't have to be lonely with us.
I'd love to keep you company and talk.
Yeah. Can you tell us if it's you?
I've heard of her.
Maybe watches your channel.
He's coming.
Maybe watches it.
He's coming again.
He's coming. Is he coming from around?
Are you sure? Stop now.
Oh, should I not be up here?
Who's coming?
Well, Walter wasn't allowed out either, right?
No. Especially when there was visitors.
Yeah, so maybe it's someone telling him off, stop.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
One of us, yes.
Okay, someone very dominant seems to have come through.
No one
Okay. Can you tell me what the year
knows.
is for you? What is the year for you? You don't know the year, maybe you can tell me who's in rule. Who's the king or the queen? Oh, there's a man.
And he doesn't look. He looks like he's got problems, doesn't he?
He's holding his face.
Responsible.
And there's something circular there as well that he's holding. In his
3.
face. 3.
Good night.
3
The
of us.
British government.
There's 3 of us. You should be saying good night, giving us a hint.
Who's the man in the picture?
Is that Walter? He looks kind of, maybe say it politely.
Like a lunatic? That's just the word that they use to
Coming out.
describe him. I don't.
It looks.
They don't even know what lunatic they were
Yeah.
using as the just
Yeah.
for the descriptor.
Alright, man, guys, how'd you go?
Fuck, I can't remember what happened.
They see a picture of the woman dressed in black holding a baby, and I said, "Did you lose your baby?" And you came straight out with yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That was interesting.
so I remember saying the word yes. When I said that, it actually sounded like a woman's voice, and it was very clear. It was like, yes, very clear.
She was in black, so I gather she was in mourning. She looked like she was carrying a baby.
Something, maybe
head,
a baby.
yeah. And then we were talking about Walter, and it was like you were telling Walt, if it was him, you were telling off to go because he's not allowed out when visitors are here.
Something tree there. Is that bad? I said lunatic. And I'm like lunatic.
Ballerina girl? Is that where it started? Oh, that
Oh,
looks
wait,
like...
is that the?
What
no,
the?
Oh yeah.
That looks like Buckingham Palace.
Yeah,
And you said London as
London,
well.
yeah.
And you said
House of
London.
Parliament.
That looks like the Big Ben and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, House of
Yeah.
Wow.
Parliament.
So you had this one.
Okay. A woman and a
And
girl,
the
2
little girl
girls.
in pink. Oh, and after this came up, you said something like the girl or something.
Okay. Ballerina.
Ballerina with a backwards leg.
Let's have a look.
Oh, this was the one.
Okay.
I was like, oh, is it a kid? Is it a woman? And Alison was like, oh, maybe holding a baby. It's definitely
It
holding
looks like
something.
she's got a hand, like you know how you support her head.
And that was when you asked
Is this
about,
the black
did you
lady?
lose the baby? And you were like, yes.
Because it looks like a young child to me, but maybe
It
not.
does, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
quite abstract. And then
Tarot cards.
yeah, that looked like tarot, but at first I thought like maybe a photograph. Oh, and this was when we were talking about Walter.
Old man? Oh.
He
Maybe
looks
not old, but
mentally-
maybe he...
He looks mentally disabled, doesn't he?
Well, he actually looked physically to me.
Yeah.
Physically
Or
disabled.
well, you know,
Well, we don't know
sometimes,
what
like
was wrong with him, do
that's
we?
it. Yeah, lunatic.
He looks like he's holding this face and he's...
He
Dunno.
died when he was 60, apparently, I did ask.
By the
Oh,
way,
okay,
guys,
'cause
we're
he looks
using...
older.
We're
He
using
died
the
at the age
word...
of 60, so he got to a good age.
When we say the word lunatic, I'm sure these guys
Lunatic.
explained it, but when we use
Yeah,
these words,
yeah,
we're using
yeah,
it in
yeah.
a historical context. That's
Yeah.
what they use to refer to him
That's
as.
what he
We're
was
not-
referred to in a historical way,
yeah.
but
As you heard in the histories we went round, that's how it was put in the record.
it's not specific. What does lunatic mean in that
But
context
in
and
the
that
old
time?
days, lunatics covered such a lot of different...
Yeah.
It could have been maybe he was just, had a learning disability or something
Mm.
intellectual.
Yeah,
It's not known.
no, but
Could have been Walter.
maybe I'll go and talk to Walter. All right, so I'm just wondering if Walter's here tonight. That upstairs.
I heard something. I thought it was that way.
Was it?
But
Where did there? So Walter, if you're here, don't mind us. We're just
having a bit of fun. There are 3 lights on the steps. 2 of them make music. Did you used to like music? I know you weren't allowed to come down when visitors were here, but we're giving you permission. We'd like to meet you. We're here to see you. But what I need is one of these lights to go off to let me know you're there. Been dying to meet you. So is Amy.
I'd love to say hello, Walter. We feel like maybe you were trying to come down and talk to us before. I just want to let you know that you have our permission to come down and greet us.
We felt very sad when we heard your story. Nobody should be put away, hidden. Alright, I'm going to put this little box on. This little box will allow you to put your voice. And I'm going to put this on that step there. And then we're going to ask some questions, and if you can answer them by putting your voice on there, and we'll know you're there and we can have a conversation. I explained what my name was, Alison. I don't think we said Jared and Amy.
Yeah, we've been saying it all night.
Yeah, there you go. But we'd like to know your name and make sure it is Walter we're talking to. Can you put that on there, please? Did you get to go out much? Out the door there? Out into the grounds? Did you get to walk?
What's your favourite part of this house? What do you think of those beeps?
I was just going to ask that.
Do they annoy you as much as they annoy us?
Why is it doing it again?
Did you like music? Did you get to hear any music while you were locked away there?
Walter, what is your favourite colour?
Did they treat you well? I know you're locked away, but were you treated well? Alright, we're going to listen back. You said anything?
Oh my god.
Jesus!
Oh my god. You would have died. There's 2 steps there.
Well, Amy would have.
I would have probably
Amy?
watched you fall
At least you
down.
got that on video.
My reaction time's probably not great, Alison.
I'm pretty sure you've got me on video saying multiple times, Alison, step away from the steps.
Yeah.
Now, where did I put my bag of shit?
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
going round.
oh my
I'm going to
God.
go round and round in a circle.
Yeah.
Just there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're on.
Did I say moron?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Did that spirit box that speaker just call you a moron?
Is it programmed to say that?
Moron.
Moron. You're using me.
How does it know?
I don't know. They're making them more and more intelligent these days, aren't
Oh, funny. That was an EVP.
they? Kag would agree with you. And then we're going to ask some questions, and if you can answer them by putting your voice on there, and we'll know you're there, we can have a conversation. I know you're locked away, but were you treated well? Alright, we're going to listen back. Walter, you disappoint me.
Good chat, Walt.
Well done. Maybe you're not there.
But thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You don't have to talk. Keg tells me off for saying
Power
that,
on.
but it's true. All right.
Moron.
Moron. Power off, moron. All right, I'm going to leave these two to talk a little bit more. Maybe you'll come down when I've gone. And I am going to go to the staircase if I can find it. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
So, I'm alright. How are you?
I was going to sit down the stairs and I thought, oh, I wonder if you'll hear me. It's a bit echoey, isn't it?
No, I'm still there.
Do you reckon?
It's a little bit echoey, yeah.
Maybe if I put you there. Alright. So if I'm here and I shout, can you hear me? Hello?
Alright, I can hear you.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you turning to face me or are you facing the other way?
I'm facing it, well, half and half, like to the side. Alright.
Okay.
I'm facing the other way now.
If I can't hear you, I'll just keep asking out questions.
Alright.
Hopefully you might get some answers that way.
Alright.
Okay, Elsa, can you hear me?
It's late tonight.
Okay, I didn't quite catch that. Actually, that wasn't late enough. There's a photo, there's a picture, sorry, on the wall of the stairs.
I thought about you.
Oh, really? There's a picture on the stairs of a lady. Can you tell me what her name is, please? What's the name of the lady in the picture on the wall? There's a song about this name as well.
Music. Silly friend.
Can't quite make out, there's too much echo, unfortunately. I'm trying to keep going though. So there's a song. Do you want me to sing it to you? Sweet Caroline, do do do. Good times never seem so good. Do you like that song? So, can you tell me, Caroline, if you're there, can you tell me anything about yourself?
45.
What happened to you? Or what happened to your husband? Or is that something you don't want to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Walter? Can anybody tell me who Walter is, please? I've heard there's somebody there called Walter, but I don't really know anything about him. Could you tell me who he is and what happened to him? Can you try and help me out with this one? Because I'm not there. I'm in a place called Australia, which you guys would never have heard of. This is other side of the world, so it might be very weird having my voice come through. My little box on the table. What happened to Walter? What did I used to do to him?
Oh, it just said my name. Oh, Alison.
Okay. I still can't hear. It's very, very echoey, but I'm going to keep carrying on. You never know. I've heard that if this is true, I've heard that there was a lot of fighting there to do with the royalists and the parliamentarians. Is that right?
Sit.
Or like one of the piece of equipment up, please.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Why can't you just get on? Why do you have to fight? Is there anything you want to tell me? Anything I should know? I'd love to have a conversation with whoever's there.
Somebody left.
Can you tell me the colour of your uniforms? What colour uniforms did you used to wear? As if you had uniforms.
No, nothing really coming through.
Alright, it was very, very difficult to hear anything that you said, but I did talk about the roars and the parliamentarians and whether there was a lot of fighting there, and I'm sure you said yes. So,
There's what?
I talked about the fighting,
Oh, okay.
and I said there was a lot of fighting going off there, and I'm sure you said yes.
Yeah.
And then I sang Sweet Caroline as well, but they didn't seem impressed with that.
That's really weird. I've just heard Sia go off. You know that ting that Sia makes? That ding.
Yeah, but there's
But
no picture.
no, I've not got Sia on. I've got you on the phone, not Sia.
Well, I haven't got Sarah on here either, so there's no tinging noise from this side. That's interesting.
I can't hear Amy and Jerry from here, so.
Ah.
No, it's been pretty quiet. I've got some movement and footsteps in the first place I did, once I started investigating.
Yeah.
So that will give us something. The rest of it will be pretty quiet, I reckon.
Well, I sang Sweet Caroline, so that should be okay to be it.
All right, guys. That's it from me. And from...
And me.
Well, you don't have to be quiet.
Okay. Okay, and me.
And her. You can't see her. Actually, you can just see a little picture. There you go. There you go. I can put her like that, look. So that's your little profile picture.
I'm not actually sat at my desk actually having doing some Haunted Horizons work on a Sunday morning.
Oh, well, more fool you.
I know.
So she wasn't on for long, but there you go. We've got a couple more investigations that she'll be joining. But that's it from me tonight at Bolling Hall. I'm going to pack up and I'm going to get some much needed sleep because I still haven't caught up yet. So, but interesting place, definitely come. Did you know it's free to get in, Cag, if you come during the day?
It's what, free?
Yeah.
When's anything ever free?
I know. How awesome is that? So, come on down during the day and have a look around. You don't get much for free these days, so you can donate if you like, but you don't have to.
I won't get the chance because somebody's organised too much for me to do when I get there, so I'm not going to get a chance to have a look at it.
Exactly. So, all right, I'm going to go. I will catch you next time at another location. Okay, bye, Cag.
Bye.
Bye.